Once upon a chilling October evening, in a small, quiet town, a group of high school friends gathered at Sarah's house for a Halloween sleepover. They were eager to create unforgettable memories and document their spooky escapades on Snapchat. As the night wore on and the moon hung low, they decided to play a terrifying game rumored to be spreading on the app. The game was simple, or so they thought. One person had to activate a sinister filter called the vanishing filter and then send a creepy, distorted selfie to a friend. That friend was then supposed to send the image to someone else, and so on. The catch: the sender had to declare a secret they had never shared before, and the image would reveal something hidden about them. Laughter filled the room as they started. Sarah, the host, went first. She activated the filter and sent a ghastly image of her face with her eyes blacked out, a sinister grin etched onto her lips. Her secret was revealed. She had once stolen a necklace from her grandmother's jewelry box. The group gasped in shock, but they quickly realized that the confession was harmless. Emboldened by Sarah's reveal, her best friend, Mark, decided to go next. He sent a picture of himself with ghostly flames rising from his head. His secret was that he had cheated on a test last year. As the night grew darker and the stories and images became progressively more sinister, fear started to creep in. Linda, the quietest of the group, sent an eerie image with red veins crawling over her face. Her secret was a haunting one. She had witnessed her parents commit a crime and never reported it to the police. The atmosphere in the room grew tense as each participant revealed their darkest secrets. But it was Emma, the last to go, who sent shivers down their spines. Her image was a grotesque version of herself, her face twisted in pain. Her secret, uttered in a trembling voice, was that she had been having vivid dreams of her friends dying in gruesome ways. As Emma finished her confession, a chilling gust of wind blew through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging them into darkness. Panic gripped the group, and they fumbled for their phones, but they were unresponsive. Their screens remained blank, except for one Snapchat notification. The message was from an unknown username, the Vanishing One. It displayed a picture of all 5 friends standing in a circle, their faces twisted and contorted in agony. But the most horrifying detail was that Emma, who had just confessed her haunting dreams, was the only one whose image had been entirely consumed by darkness. Before their very eyes, Emma's figure in the photo began to fade, pixel by pixel, until she vanished completely. The room filled with blood, curdling screams as they realized the horrifying truth. They had unknowingly summoned an entity through Snapchat, and it was coming for them one by one, terrified and desperate. The remaining friends tried to escape the house, but the doors and windows wouldn't budge. The entity, now free in the physical world, began hunting them down, its presence growing stronger with every Snapchat notification. As the night wore on, one by one, they disappeared, their screams echoing through the darkened house. The Snapchat game had turned into a real-life nightmare, and there was no escaping the relentless, malevolent force they had unleashed. The next morning, the town awoke to a chilling headline. 5 high school friends vanish without a trace. The house where the sleepover had taken place now stood abandoned, a place of terror and unspeakable horrors. The Snapchat game had left its mark, a gruesome reminder that some filters should never be activated and some secrets should never be shared. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, nestled among the comforting hum of cicadas, lived a teenager named Jake. Jake was known for his quirky sense of humor and love of Snapchat filters. He couldn't resist sharing photos of himself with friends, transforming into goofy animals, or trying out the latest filter trends. One sunny afternoon, Jake's curiosity led him to a peculiar filter that had recently surfaced on Snapchat. It was called the Phantom filters. Unlike the usual filters that made you look like an adorable puppy or a hilarious alien, these filters were mysterious and unsettling. The Phantom filters had a hidden backstory. Legend had it that they were created by a disgruntled former Snapchat employee who had a bone to pick with the company. Supposedly, these filters had the power to reveal secrets that even the deepest corners of your subconscious hide. Jake, always up for a new Snapchat adventure, decided to give the Phantom filters a try. He selected the first one, named the Mirror of Truth. As soon as he applied it, his face morphed into a pale, eerie visage. His eyes turned hollow and his smile seemed frozen in a sinister grin. Jake looked at his reflection in the app and felt a chill creep down his spine. He decided to test the legend, whispering a secret he'd never told anyone before into his phone's microphone. He confessed that he'd cheated on a math test last semester. The moment the words left his lips, the filter snapped a photo and sent it to a user named Phantom Watcher. Uneasy but intrigued, Jake waited for a response. It didn't take long. Phantom Watcher replied with a chilling message. "Your secret is safe." For now, days turned into weeks, and Jake couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. He tried to forget about the filter, but he kept receiving messages from Phantom Watcher, each containing a photo of someone he knew, along with a shocking secret about them: his best friend's affair, his neighbor's hidden debt, and even his own parents' undisclosed financial troubles, all revealed through Phantom Watcher's eerie filter. Jake felt trapped. He couldn't stop using Snapchat, but every time he did, it felt like he was playing a dangerous game of truth or dare with a malevolent entity. His paranoia grew, and he distanced himself from everyone, fearing what secrets Phantom Watcher might uncover about him next. One fateful night, as Jake was scrolling through Snapchat in the dim light of his room, he received a message from Phantom Watcher. This time, the filter applied itself without his consent, turning his face into a grotesque mask of terror. The message was simple but spine-chilling. "It's your turn." Panicked, Jake whispered a secret he'd never told anyone, the one that had haunted him for years. The memory of a terrible accident he had caused that had led to a friend's injury. The filter snapped a photo, and Phantom Watcher replied, "I know everything now, Jake." Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared in Jake's room, its presence sending a shiver down his spine. The figure was cloaked in darkness, wearing a mask eerily resembling the filter. It reached out a hand towards Jake, who screamed and scrambled to flee. As he burst out of his room, he stumbled into his parents, who were equally horrified to find Phantom Watcher standing there. Together, they managed to overpower the intruder, revealing that it was none other than Jake's estranged older brother, Ethan, who had disappeared years ago. Ethan had been hiding in the shadows, nursing a grudge against the family for an accident that had torn them apart. He had used the Phantom filters to exact his revenge, exploiting Jake's obsession with Snapchat and his guilt-ridden secrets. With Ethan apprehended, the family began to heal, but the scars of their past ran deep. Jake deleted Snapchat for good, realizing that some filters could uncover not only secrets, but also the darkest aspects of human nature, even within the ones you thought you knew best. In the heart of a sprawling, modern metropolis, where life moved at the speed of a tweet and the boundaries between the real world and the digital one blurred, there lived a young woman named Maya. Her life was an open book, a virtual chronicle of her daily existence, all meticulously documented on Snapchat. Maya's followers had grown accustomed to her daily updates. From the perfect latte art at her favorite cafe to the latest episode of her binge watching sessions, nothing in her life was left unshared. Her witty captions and quirky filters made her a sensation in the virtual realm, and she had amassed a legion of dedicated followers who eagerly awaited her every post. But Maya's addiction to Snapchat ran deeper than the superficial likes and comments. She felt a compulsive need to keep her streaks alive, to maintain her streak count above all else. Her day began with a snap and ended with another, capturing her life's highs and lows in 10-second glimpses. Friends often teased her about her obsession, but Mia brushed it off as mere jest. One sunny afternoon, as Maya was snapping away at her local park, she received a new friend request. The username was cryptic, Snapstalker. The profile picture was an eerie mask, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce her soul. Maya hesitated for a moment, her instincts screaming at her to ignore it. But her curiosity got the better of her. She accepted the request, and almost instantly, her phone pinged with a message from Snapstalker. The words sent a chill down her spine. "I know everything about you, Mia." Mia's heart raced. Her palms grew clammy, and she asked, "Who are you? What do you mean?" Snapstalker responded with a series of snapshots that seemed to show Maya's life in uncanny detail. There were images of her at work, at home, with her friends, and even in the most private moments of her life. The captions accompanying the pictures described her thoughts and actions with unnerving accuracy. Fear gripped Maya. It felt as if her very soul had been laid bare, dissected by this mysterious presence. She showed the messages to her friends, who dismissed them as a prank. But Mia knew better. Something was terribly wrong, and she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Panicked, Mia contacted the police, providing them with the screenshots and the username. However, the authorities couldn't trace Snapstalker's location. They advised Maya to delete Snapchat and change her online habits. But it was already too late. Snapstalker continued to send horrifying images and messages, each one more unsettling than the last. Mia's life spiraled into paranoia and fear. She stopped going out, disconnected from her friends, and even quit her job, convinced that her stalker was someone she knew. Every shadow, every creaking floorboard became a potential threat. The lines between her virtual world and reality blurred, and she found herself trapped in a nightmare of her own making. One fateful night, Mia received a video from Snapstalker. Her heart pounded as she watched it. It showed her sleeping soundly in her bedroom, every detail captured with chilling precision, down to the rhythmic rise and fall of her chest. The caption read, "I'm closer than you think." Terrified, Maya grabbed her phone and dialed 911. Her voice trembled as she tried to explain the situation. But before she could utter a word, she heard a faint noise from her closet. It was a soft, sinister whisper. With trembling hands, she slowly opened the closet door, her heart pounding like a drum. And there, in the dim light, she came face to face with a masked intruder. The person wore the same sinister mask as Snapstalker's profile picture, their eyes cold and calculating. Maya's scream pierced the air, a desperate cry for help. The intruder lunged at her, and in the ensuing struggle, Mia managed to wrestle the mask off their face. What she saw underneath left her gasping for breath. It was her ex-boyfriend, Alex. Years ago, Mia had ended her relationship with Alex, but he had never truly let go. Instead, he had become obsessed with her, monitoring her every move, both online and in the real world. He had created the Snapstalker persona to get closer to her, a twisted and perverse extension of his obsession. The police arrived just in time to apprehend Alex, but the damage had been done. Maya's life had been forever altered by her addiction to Snapchat and the twisted mind of her ex-lover. She had learned the hard way that sometimes the scariest monsters hide behind the screens of our digital lives, and that the line between our online personas and the real world can be dangerously thin. In the aftermath of the ordeal, Mia deleted all her social media accounts and started fresh, determined to protect her privacy and sanity. She had learned a lesson that would haunt her for the rest of her days. A lesson about the dangers of obsession and the terrifying reality that sometimes the monsters are the ones who know us best.